There are secrets hidden behind the cameras, whispers that never make it to the headlines. Political elites have their own world, a world where power, influence, and personal lives collide in ways the public never fully sees. But sometimes, just sometimes, something slips through the cracks. Tonight, we uncover one such mystery. Karoline Leavitt, a rising political figure, found herself in the center of a storm when rumors surfaced about her alleged relationship with Barron Trump, the son of former President Donald Trump. Late-night meetings, cryptic messages, and insider sources hinting at something beyond politics. But what's the truth? She recently sat down for an exclusive CNN interview where she was confronted with direct, hard-hitting questions. What did she say? Did she deny everything? Or was there something in her words, in her expressions, that suggested otherwise? Let's break it down. The studio was silent except for the humming of the cameras. Karoline Leavitt sat across from the CNN anchor, her usual confidence intact, but her eyes held something else. A flicker of restraint? Annoyance? Or was it the fear of being exposed? The anchor wasted no time. The first question hit like a bullet. Karoline, people are talking. Rumors have been circulating that you and Barron Trump share more than just a professional relationship. Can you clarify what's really going on? She let out a soft chuckle, shaking her head. Rumors fly around all the time. I've learned to ignore them. But these aren't just online gossip, are they? We have sources claiming you and Barron have been seen together multiple times. Private meetings, long conversations. Are you denying any sort of personal connection? She adjusted her posture, crossing her legs. Look, I know how this works. You take two public figures, put them in the same room, and suddenly there's a whole conspiracy behind it. But the anchor wasn't backing down. He leaned forward. Karoline, this isn't just about being in the same room. There are reports of private text messages. Some insiders even claim Barron speaks about you in a way that suggests something more. For a fraction of a second, there was a flicker of hesitation. It was almost imperceptible, but it was there. She finally responded, her tone carefully measured. Barron is a smart young man. We've had conversations, yes, but if people want to turn that into something scandalous, that's on them. The anchor pushed further. So you're saying there was no relationship, no romantic involvement whatsoever? Right. Pause. She sighed, her expression unreadable. I'm saying people believe what they want to believe. But the questions weren't stopping. The next one was even sharper. Karoline, if it wasn't true, why not just deny it outright? Why this vague response? She smiled again, but this time there was a hint of something else. Annoyance, amusement, or maybe something deeper? I think we're done here. And with that, she ended it. But had she really answered anything? Or had she just given the public more to speculate on? What do you think? Let us know in the comments. She thought she had ended it, but the anchor wasn't done. He wasn't about to let Karoline walk away from the toughest question of the night. You say people believe what they want to believe, but doesn't that sound like a non-answer? Karoline, let's be real. If this was truly false, why not? Say it loud and clear. She took a breath, tilting her head slightly as if calculating her next words. Because no matter what I say, people will twist it. I could give you the most direct answer, and within an hour, there would be a dozen different headlines, each with its own spin. So you're suggesting this is all just a fabrication, that there was never anything between you and Barron Trump? She hesitated. It wasn't long, just a fraction of a second, but it was enough. Enough for anyone paying close attention to see that something wasn't being said. She finally answered, her voice calm but firm. Barron and I have had conversations, sure. We've talked about politics, about the future, about many things, but people assume far too much. The anchor saw the opening and took it. You didn't answer my question. Have you ever had a romantic relationship with Barron Trump? Her lips parted slightly, then closed. She exhaled through her nose, forcing a smile. I think we've covered this enough. But the interview wasn't over. The anchor leaned forward, his tone shifting. Karoline, yes now. Every second felt stretched. Okay, the anchor continued. Let's take a different angle. If you weren't in politics, do you think this conversation with Barron would have ever happened? She seemed to consider this one more seriously. Maybe not. Maybe we wouldn't have crossed paths the way we did. But that's how life works, doesn't it? Okay, the anchor continued. Let's take a different angle. If you weren't in politics, do you think this conversation with Barron would have ever happened? She seemed to consider this one more seriously. Maybe not. Maybe we wouldn't have crossed paths the way we did. But that's how life works, doesn't it? The anchor saw his chance. So there was something special about your connection? She sighed, shaking her head. You're twisting my words. Am I? Or are you just not saying everything you really want to? She let out a soft laugh, one that didn't quite reach her eyes. This is why people don't do interviews. The anchor smiled. Because they don't want to answer difficult questions? Because they know people will hear whatever they want to hear, she replied. The interview was wrapping up, but the anchor had one last shot. Last question, Karoline. If Barron Trump were watching this right now, what would you say to him? She finally let the mask slip, just for a moment. A flicker of something real. Good luck, she said simply. And just like that, the interview ended. But had she really closed the door? Or had she just left it open enough for people to keep wondering? The truth may never be fully known, but one thing is certain. This interview only raised more questions than it answered.